epicenter of the 7.1 earthquake right in the heart of the San Francisco Bay.
This just into News Australia.
Francisco. Si l'aviation ne parvient pas.
We've also been getting strange reports of something moving under the Golden Gate Bridge.
I mean, it must be 300 feet tall.
Cars are tumbling off the bridge.
San Francisco has now become a war zone. But the jets can bring down this massive creature. I don't know what is going to be left of this city.
Cutting a 3-mile wide path of destruction through the city of San Francisco. I can only pray that this is the end of it.
Hey, shalom, shalom, Yasha'Allah, shalom. Shalom, shalom, Yasha'Allah. Fix this camera a little bit. Hey, first and foremost, want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim Kakadash, double honors to the apostles of great millstone who were well. Special salutations to the hope of elect by Yahweh, the house of David, and to the confusion in the faces scattered across the four corners of the globe. Shalom. You see the title. Could Leviathan have taken down that submarine? It's possible. Because Esau, you always want to go you always want to try to go into the deep. For years, this man want to go into the deep. You want to go look for the Titanic. You want to go look for the Titanic. And you know what's funny? They say that it was the guy that built the Titanic made a statement and said, God himself couldn't take down this ship. And then the icebergs that they claim that hit the ship, it's pretty much parts of the back of Leviathan that possibly took down, that scraped the tank, that pierced it. Okay? This is the same damn devil that said he went into the moon. He said he went to the moon. He discovered America. Now you trying to go down into the deep. You trying to go down into the deep parts as if you've been there or you know meters and what dwells down there. You know what happens when Esau goes searching in the deep? The nigga end up missing. So all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Bashim Kakadash. You know, let that be possible. Which it possibly is that happened. But we're just going to go into some scriptures and some articles. I'm going to start off with this article right here. Oh, this damn devil. Right. This is the results of you trying to go into the deep things of the Most High.
With Verizon Business Unlimited, I get 5.
This is the results right here. This is what happens. This is what the Lord puts you through.
Through your mind tonight?
Well, thanks, Anderson. I mean, obviously, we're all kind of.
James, I appreciate you joining us. Someone who's devoted his life to exploration, as you have in many ways under the sea. I'm wondering what is going through your mind tonight.
Well, thanks, Anderson. I mean, obviously, we're all kind of heartsick from the outcome of this, and I've been living with it for a few days now, as some of my other colleagues in the deep submergence community. I was out on a ship myself when the event happened on Sunday. The first I heard of it was Monday morning. I immediately got on my network because it's a very small community in the deep submergence group, and found out some information within about a half hour that they had lost comms and they had lost tracking simultaneously. The only scenario that I could come up with in my mind that could account for that was an implosion, a shockwave event so powerful that it actually took out a secondary system that has its own pressure vessel and its own battery power supply, which is the transponder that the ship uses to track where the sub is. So I was thinking implosion then. That's Monday morning. I got on the horn again with some other people, tracked down some intel that was probably of a military origin, although it could have been research, because there are hydrophones all over the Atlantic. and got confirmation that there was some kind of loud noise consistent with an implosion event. That seemed to me enough confirmation that I let all of my inner circle of people know that we had lost our comrades, and I encouraged everybody to raise a glass in their honor on Monday. Then I watched over the ensuing days this whole sort of everybody running around with their hair on fire search, knowing full well that it was futile, hoping against hope that I was wrong, but knowing in my bones that I wasn't. And so it certainly wasn't a surprise today. And I just feel terrible for the families that had to go through all these false hopes that kept getting dangled, you know, as it played out.
As it played out, right? Because Esau, you a goddamn devil. This is a man that said he went to the moon. That he's always searching out the scriptures. One thing about Esau, he fears Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Not in the way not in the way of respecting the Most High, but like let's get a precept real quick. This is James 2:19. Thou believest that there is one power, one God, thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. This man trembles. He's always searching to see, let me get the artifacts. This man was not searching for no damn Titanic. He's searching for what possibly took down the Titanic. What did take down the Titanic? Leviathan. Now he's going back in the submarine to look for Leviathan. That's what he's looking for. Okay? That is what he's doing. He wants to find the prophets, the body of the prophets. All right? What did Herod do when he seen Yahushua, when he heard of Yahushua being born? He sent out people to kill him. Esau is infatuated with this wisdom, with this knowledge, with the Bible. He believes in the Most High. He believes, because he's even trying to steal the identity of the Israelites to be the Israelites. This dude is a greatest fan. All right? This is let me get a precept. This is hold on one second. Look at this. This is how infatuated he is. This is Matthew 1 and 2. Now when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem in Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there was wise men from the east of Jerusalem, verse 2, saying, where is he that is born King of the Jews? Oh, okay. For we have seen his star in the east and are come to worship him. Verse 3, when Herod the king heard these things, he was troubled. He was troubled. And all Jerusalem with him. Verse 4, and when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where the Mashiach should be born. This man is infatuated. He reads the scriptures. Oh, Leviathan. Let's go down there. Let's find it. We need to find Leviathan. This man is trying to go against prophet. He doesn't want to be destroyed. Why is Esau building a numerous amount of bunkers? Why doesn't he not live here? He know that nuclear warfare is coming here. All right? This is what the elite is doing. This is why they sleep in bunkers. They know that this place is going to be destroyed by a fire, right? Verse 4, and when he gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where the Mashiach should be born. Verse 5, and they said unto him, in Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet. Verse 6, and thou Bethlehem in the land of Judea art not the least among the prince of Judea, for out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. There go once again, showing you who Yahushua, who you were ignorantly called Jesus, is coming back to rule his people Israel. All right, That's possessive. Verse 7. Then Herod, when he had privately called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. Verse 8. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, Go search diligently for the young child, and when ye find him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also. That's deceptive. This is what Esau does. He's lying. Same way he lying about, hey, I want to go search for the Titanic. Hey, we went to the moon. You can't even pass the Van Allen belt. The firmament is full of energy. Anything passes through that, you're going to get destroyed. Why do you think Esau created the SpaceX? Why did he create the SpaceX? All right? To what? Try to see UFOs, to know about the chariots from the ancients of days, where chariots has been carved into different pyramids. This man is infatuated with the scriptures and with prophecy. So but he's gonna lie. That's what the devil does. That's what deceiver means. Deceiver. I mean, that's what devil means. Deceiver. All right. The thing about Esau is Satan is tricking him. He thinks he's gonna overcome Israel and get Israel destroyed by what? Destroying the moon, the stars, the sun. I'm gonna get that precept real quick. But second Matthews 2 and 8. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, Go search diligently for the young child, and when ye find him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also. Clearly lies. You don't want to worship him. Verse 9. When they had heard the king, they departed, and lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them till it came and stood over where the young child was. Verse 10. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceedingly great joy. Verse 11. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And they had opened their treasures and presented him with gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Okay. Verse 12. And being warned of the Most High in a dream, they should not return to Herod. They departed into their own country in another way. See, the Most High, I clouded them. Listen, don't return to Herod, because the Most High knows the inward parts of Esau, this damn devil, and how deceptive he is. Right? Verse 13. And when they departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared unto Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. See? Oh, let me bring him here so I can worship him. Oh, yeah, we're going into the deep for the Titanic. We don't know even if that submarine went there or not, what they're looking for. Did it really get exploded? Is he still down there searching for Esau? But it's a ongoing task. And if he did get destroyed, not searching for Esau, searching for Leviathan, most likely the deeper you go, Leviathan gonna chew your ass up. That's what's gonna happen, right? Verse 14. And when he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt. Verse 15. And was there unto the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled and spoken of the law of the prophet, saying, Out of Egypt have I called the son. Verse 16. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, you see, it never says 3 wise men, it just says wise men, was exceedingly wroth, and sent forth and slew all children that were in Bethlehem, and in all the coast thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. So he's thinking that Yahushua is 2 years old, and he sent forth people to kill. This is what this devil did. Okay, sent forth people to kill, to find out the prophet. He's always infatuated with artifacts. He's trying to find the chariot wheels that was in the deep. He's trying to find the prophet's bodies. Right, this is what Esau does. All right, and just to give you another precept of Leviathan. This is Psalms 104 and 25. So is this Psalms 104 and 24. O Lord, how manifold are thy works! In wisdom hast thou made them all. The earth is full of riches, right? So there's nobody that should be in poverty. The earth produces numerous amount of riches where people can boost their economy, but Esau is going to extort that, all right? Verse 25, so is this great and wide sea, wherein are things creeping, innumerable, both small and great beasts. Verse 26, there go the ships. There is that Leviathan, whom thou hast made to play therein. The ships go and Leviathan is having wreck with you niggas, man. Verse 27, these wait all upon thee, that thou mayest give them their meat in due season. All right? That thou givest them, they gather, thou openest thy hand, they are filled with good. All right? So these things, these ships that want to go down into the deep, hey, Leviathan possibly, Leviathan did take it down, man. That's Jonah's lunch meat. It's gone. Okay? Let's go into this video real quick.
Hey, today I'm going to show you how to search anyone with just their phone number. Most people don't know this simple, yet.
Good evening. For days, the world watched on, hoping the Titan submersible would be found with all 5 men alive on board. But today we've learnt, for all that time, there was no hope at all. The discovery of debris on the ocean floor has led experts to conclude the vessel suffered a catastrophic failure in the first hours of the dive.
A second tragedy at the site of the Titanic. This morning, searching in an ocean of unknowns, a rover found pieces of the missing sub, indicating it imploded.
The debris is consistent with the catastrophic loss of the pressure chamber.
The debris field was found less than 500 metres from the bow of the Titanic. 5 major pieces were discovered, including its nose cone, the landing frame, and the tailpiece of the submersible with the Ocean Gate logo. It means the banging noises that were detected for days could not have been the missing crew. Tonight, the US Navy confirmed it heard an implosion in the area where the sub was operating only hours after it lost communication. On board, British billionaire adventurer Hamish Harding, who'd travelled to space and the deepest place on Earth, the Mariana Trench. In a statement, his family said, "If we can take any small consolation from this tragedy, it's that we lost him doing what he loved." Also on board, French historian Paul-Henri Nargeolet and Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood and his son Suleiman. The 19-year-old's aunt today claiming he was terrified about the trip but wanted to please his dad for Father's Day.
I'm also sure that he would not have taken his son on board if he thought there was really, a serious level of danger.
96 hours since the Titan lost contact and the Coast Guard confirming what we all feared. The question is now, how did this happen?
Those questions about regulations that apply and the standards, that's going to be, I'm sure, a focus of future review.
The finger of blame is being pointed at the sub's final victim, Ocean Gate CEO Stockton Rush, whose wife is a descendant of Titanic victims.
I've broken some rules to make this. I think I've broken them with logic and good engineering behind me. The carbon fiber and titanium, there's a rule you don't do that. Well, I did.
Rush is accused of cutting corners and avoiding regulation, fearing it would stifle his innovation.
We certainly don't want to stop the entrepreneurial developments because quite often they develop technologies that are major steps because they're not hindered by the regulations.
The director of the film Titanic and deep-sea explorer James Cameron comparing this to the world's most famous maritime disaster.
The captain was warned, there were icebergs ahead, it was a moonless night, and he plowed ahead.
It claimed 1,500 lives, now 5 more lost to the ocean by their captivation with that doomed voyage. In Boston, Alison Petrowski, 9 News.
Tragic. That's a tragic end. That's a tragic end for Esau. And that's good. That's beautiful. All right, they was hearing
Breaking
sounds.
news now. There may be hope for the 5 crew members on the lost submersible that went missing near the...
They was hearing sounds, you know, claiming explosions. They running out of oxygen. There's a video surfacing around also with The Simpsons. You see The Simpsons depict the submarine being on the ground. So everybody's like, oh, The Simpsons did it again. They predicted it. But you understand something about Esau. He does predictive programming. All right? So Esau puts things out in his media. He puts things out in movies. You know, he puts things out in the news. And then when it's act out, he wants to seem like as if, you know, like he wants to be like the Most High. That's his prophetic word, his media, his witchcraft. That's Esau's prophetic word, because he wants to be like the power. He wants to be like how the Most High does. Most High speak things, and then it manifests. But let me just get Jeremiah 31 and 35. It said, "Thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts is his name." Verse 36. "If those ordinances depart from me, save the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever." All right? So the Most High is talking about the ordinance. All right? The moon, the stars. All right? Divideth the waves thereof that roar. Esau's trying to destroy the ocean. He's trying to destroy the sea. He want to destroy the sun. He want to destroy the moon and the sun and the stars. Why? Because the Lord is a man of his word. The Most High is basically letting you know, if those ordinances depart from me, I'm going to do away with Israel. That's the only way I'll do away with Israel. But you see, the Most High is so good in his wisdom. And the Most High, you know, is very sarcastic, because you need the sun, the moon, the stars, the stars, the ocean, everything like this. You need this to survive. So if those things depart, right, and Israel is done away with, it shows you that those very ordinances were made for Israel, which means the rest of you nations that's here are made to serve Israel. Likewise, you know, that's why you guys are here for, you know. This is verse 37. "Thus saith the Lord, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel." Why you think he's sending submarines down there? He's trying to figure out the foundations of the earth, right? "I will also cast off the seed of Israel for all that they have done, save the Lord." Okay? You're not going to find the foundation of the earth. You're not going to understand any of these things. All right? Leviathan is going to be there waiting for your ass. And that's what he wants to do, you know? This is a quick precept right here. Job 41 and 1. "Canst thou draw out Leviathan with a hook, or his tongue with a cord, which thou lettest down?" Right? When you're going to fish Leviathan out, you're going to bring your little submarines down there. What are you doing? What are you looking for? All right? Anything this man does, his reference is biblical content. Christopher Columbus, 1404 or 1406, I believe. What did he say? You know, I forgot the name of the movie, but it's in the 1400s. What did he say about coming over here, finding people over here? He said the prophet Esdras. All right, he's always looking at the scriptures to find out what's going on in the world. All right, it's you niggas that's blind. He deceives you, and he puts a light and the imagery on you to keep you blind. Verse 2, "Canst thou put a hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn?" Verse 3, "Will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee?" Yeah, it's what you're going to get Leviathan at your mercy. Put him in cages so everybody can see. Come visit the aquarium. That's what you think you're going to do? Verse 4, "Will he make a covenant with thee? Will he take him for a servant forever?" And that's what he want to do. Think he's going to capture Leviathan, make him a servant forever. That's not going to happen. All right? That's not going to happen. Why? Because Leviathan was given to rule the ocean, right? This is 2 Esdras 6 and 48. It says, "Then didst thou obtain 2 living creatures, and one 1, I'm sorry, at 48. For the dumb waters and without life brought forth living things at the commandment of the Most High. The dumb waters, the deep, the waters, the Most High created life through the waters, okay? From the ground, at the womb, okay? At the one, you know what I'm saying? Which means Adam of the ground. Without life brought forth living things at the commandment of the Most High, that all people might praise his wondrous work. Verse 49. Then didst thou obtain 2 living creatures. One thou callest Enoch, and the other Leviathan. Verse 50. Thou didst separate one from the other. The 7th part, namely where the water was gathered together, might not hold them both. Okay, you have man on land, and you got Leviathan for the sea. Verse 51. Unto Enoch thou gavest one part, which was dry up in the 3rd day, that he should dwell in the same part wherein are 1,000 hills. Okay, and verse 52. But unto Leviathan thou gavest the 7th part, namely the moist, and hast kept him to be devoured, of whom thou wilt and when. All right, so the Leviathan is going to act upon the commandment of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Understand this. All right, go back. This is back at Job 41 and 5. Wilt thou play with him as with birds, or wilt thou bind him for the maidens? Verse 6. Shall the companions make a banquet for him? Shall they part him among merchants? And the Most High is asking questions, because this man is very delusional in his searches and what he's trying to do. Verse 7. Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Right? You're not going to throw spears at him. You're not going to kill him. You're not going to bring anything down there. What are you going to do? Verse 8. Lay thy hand upon him. Remember the battle. Do no more. Verse 9. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him? Even at the sight, even if the appearance of Leviathan, you're going to be cast down. Verse 10. None is so fierce that dare stare him up. Who then is able to stand before me? All right. You're not going to be able to deal with Leviathan. All right. And this is where they get the concept of Godzilla. Right. I'm gonna jump down real quick. I'll play a video very powerful to watch from the brother Manatas Abanyangam, and you can hear it out. But look what it says right here. Job 41 and 19. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. Sparks of fire leap out. Out of his mouth. Verse 20. Out of his nostrils go smoke as out of a seething pot or cauldron. His breath kindles coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth. Come on, man. What are you going to do against this type of creature? There's nothing you can do, Esau. There's no military. There's no submarine. There's nothing you can do. And the Most High is going to unleash them. All right? And, I'll play the video. Watch the video at the end. It's very powerful. But let's look at this video that the priest has sent, which was, powerful. Which what sparked this sit down,
Ocean is really, really deep. Deeper, in fact, than most.
Esau claiming to go deep and knowing the meters and everything. I'm like, yo, this man don't know shit, man. And we're going to go into the scriptures.
Of us realize. If you were to shave off all of the land from the tops of every continent and island in the world and fill up the ocean's deepest points with that land, then the entire earth would be covered in an ocean 2 miles deep. 3/4 of our planet is already covered in water though, and it goes a lot deeper than just 2 miles. Let's start with a sense of scale. This dot right here is the size of an average human, this slightly larger dot is the size of an elephant, and this is the size of the largest ship ever built, the Knock Nevis. With that in mind, let's start going underwater and see what we find out. The first milestone is at 40 meters below the surface, which is the maximum depth allowed for recreational scuba diving. A little further down at 93 meters is where the wreck of the Lusitania was discovered, which is interesting because the Lusitania itself is 240 meters long, which means that it sank in water shallower than it is long, so if the ship was standing on its stern or bow, it would be sticking out of the water. Just slightly deeper than that, at 100 meters, is where diving can become seriously fatal if you're not careful because of decompression sickness. But that didn't stop a man named Herbert Nitsch to accomplish the free diving world record at a depth of 214 meters. This guy swam down to this level with just one single breath. But a little further down at 332 meters, we have the scuba diving world record, which was accomplished by another man named Ahmed Gabir. If he had swam down another 111 meters, then he would have reached the height of the Empire State Building if it was submerged underwater. And a little further than that, at 500 meters below the surface, we arrive at the maximum dive depth of blue whales, the largest creatures on the planet and also the limit of the U.S. sea.
Alright, Yahweh Shah does. Jonah, alright. The whale, that sea monster, you know, it took Jonah down all the way into the deep. All right, you had the Israelites that walked through the Gulf Suez, but they was on dry land. They don't know the measures thereof because they were walking on dry land as the sea split open. All right, and that's a certain part of it, a certain part of that land. All right, the deep, it goes deeper and deeper. You know? Matter of fact, let me just get that precept real quick. This is Job. This is Jonah 2:1. Then Jonah prayed unto the Lord his power out of the fish's belly. Verse 2, and said, I cried by reason of my affliction unto the Lord, and he heard me out of the belly of hell, cried I, and thou heardest my voice. Verse 3, for thou didst cast me into the deep in the midst of the seas, and the floods compassed me about, all my billows, and thy waves passed over me. All right. So he went to the deep. He went into the deep. Verse 4. Then I said, I am cast out of thy sight, yet I look again towards the holy temple. The waters compass me about, even to the soul. The depth closed me round about. The weeds are wrapped about my head. I went to the bottoms of the mountain, and the earth with her bars was about me forever. Yet hast thou brought up my life from corruption, O Lord, my power. All right, Esau, you haven't experienced that. Stop it.
Class nuclear submarine. At 535 meters, we can witness the maximum dive depth of emperor penguins, and this is when we must bring up the intensity of water pressure. At this level below the surface, the water pressure exerted on a person or the penguins would be roughly equivalent to a polar bear standing on a quarter. So further down the depths, at 830 meters, would be the height of the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, the tallest building in the world. Once we hit 1,000 meters below the surface, we begin to enter the scary zone. Light from the surface can no longer reach beyond this point, so the rest of the ocean below is shrouded in permanent darkness. On top of that, the water pressure you would experience at this point would be about the same as if you were standing on the surface of the planet Venus, meaning that you would die very quickly.
You don't know that, man. Let's get another precept, man, because this guy's just talking. He's talking caca. All right. Yeah, but it is dark. This is Job 38:15. And from the wicked their light is withholden. All right, Most High capped you. You're capped. All right, you don't know anything. and the high arm shall be broken. Verse 16, Job 38:16. Hast thou entered into the springs of the sea, or has thou walked in the search of the depth? Have you? If that's a question, the Most High's action, have you? Verse 30. Jumping down to verse 30. The waters are hid as with a stone. All right? The waters down there, the deeper you go, he's talking about scary zone. All right? They're hid as a stone. And the face of the deep is frozen. Most High is able to freeze the surface of the ocean on your ass, man. Who's able to do that? You can't do that. You know?
So meet the giant squid at this sea level if the water pressure didn't already kill you. At 1,280 meters, we reach the maximum depth dived to by the leatherback sea turtle, and further down at 1,828 meters, we would reach the deepest part of the Grand Canyon were it to be underwater with us. Down at 2,000 meters, we start to encounter some of the more terrifying sea creatures, like the ominously named black dragonfish, a carnivorous beast with a stomach that doesn't allow light to be emitted through it, meaning that since we're in total darkness underwater at this point, the only way you would ever see this thing is with a flashlight. A little further down, at 2,250 meters, we would reach the maximum depth dived to by both sperm whales and the very frightening colossal squid. Sperm whales often have sucker marks and scars left on their bodies from battles with the colossal squid that likely take place at these incredible depths. The squids themselves can grow to be 14 meters long and weigh up to 750 kilograms.
Why don't you just mention Leviathan? Let me get Sirach 1 and I'm going to start at 2. Who can number the sin of the sea and a drop of rain in the days of eternity? Verse 3, who can find the height of heaven? Right? You want to search out the heavens, right? And the breadth of the earth, and the deep, and wisdom. The Most High have been created before all things, and the understanding of prudence from everlasting. The word of the Most High is the fountain of wisdom, and her ways are everlasting commandment. And the word of the Most High is who? Who is Yahweh Shai. Okay? That's who can find it out. This is John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. The Word was with God, right? Was with the power. And the Word was a power, okay? That's who the beginning. Yahweh Shah. All right? Going to another precept. Proverbs 8:27. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set a compass upon the face of the depth. Verse 28. When he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep, when he gave the sea his decree that the waters should not pass his commandment, when he appointed the foundations of the earth. Verse 30, then I was by him as one brought up with him, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him. All right, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai was there. Okay, Yahweh Shai was there. He knows the deep. You don't know it, Esau. You ain't got the answer, Sway.
Eyes the size of a dinner plate and razor-sharp sickles in the middle of their tentacles. So yeah, good luck with that down there. Way further down at 3,800 meters, we can find the wreck of the RMS Titanic. And a bit past that, at 4,000 meters, we start to enter the abyssal zone of the ocean. Water pressure is at an astonishing 11,000 pounds per square inch down here, and there are numerous strange, almost alien-like creatures that inhabit these depths, such as the fangtooth, anglerfish, and viperfish. Down at 4,267 meters is the average depth of the ocean, where you would normally expect to hit the floor, but there are parts of the ocean that go significantly deeper than even this. See? At 4,791...
Let's show you who else experienced the deep. But, like I said, they don't know the measure of it, right? They don't know how deeper it can go. This is where the Most High has kept them to walk through and pass through. This is Wisdom of Solomon 10 and 18 is verse 17. Render to the righteous a reward for their labor, guided them in a marvelous way, and was unto them for a cover by night, and the light of the stars in the night season. This is when the chariots was God and children of Israel led by Moses, right? Brought them through the Red Sea and led them through much water, all right? The Gulf Suez. Verse 19, but she drowned their enemies and cast them out of the bottom of the deep, all right? Bottom of the deep.
Meters rests the wreckage of the battleship Bismarck sunk during World War II, and way down at 6,000 meters is the beginning of the Hadal Zone, named after the underworld Hades itself. The water pressure down at these depths can become 1,100 times what you would experience way back on top at the surface, which is roughly equal to an elephant balancing on a postage stamp or a single person carrying the weight of 50 Boeing 747 jumbo jets. Down at these depths, you would be crushed immediately without any outside protection, but life still exists down here in various strange forms. At 6,500 meters, we reach the maximum depth that the DSV Alvin can dive to, a popular research submarine that helped to discover the Titanic. Way further down at 8,848 meters below the surface, and we have arrived at the height of Mount Everest, where to be upside down and placed underwater. And then way further past even that, at 10,898 meters, we arrive at the depth reached by James Cameron in 2012.
What ruler are you using to measure this, Esau? You don't know. This man is a liar. He's deceptive.
During the Deep Sea Challenger mission. The deepest point in the ocean yet reached by humans was back in 1960, though, when two men named Don Walsh and Jacques Piccard reached a depth of 10,916 meters using their Trieste submarine. It took them 5 hours to descend through the ocean to this depth, and they only stayed for 20 minutes before a window cracked and they began to resurface. Just a bit further down from there at 10,000.
Check out this video of the people that was dying and going down there. It was they was naming people that went to the moon and so-called went to the moon, that did deep divings, and just look at the people that was in that submarine, all right, and their history.
972 meters, and we reach the average flight altitude of a commercial airliner. So if you've ever looked out of a window while on a flight and looked down to the ground, that's a very good sense of how incredibly deep down into the abyss that we are currently at. Finally, when we hit 10,994 meters, we have hit the bottom of the known ocean called the Challenger Deep, right here on this map, just about 300 kilometers southwest of Guam Island. However, it is believed that there are almost certainly even deeper parts of the ocean than this that just haven't been discovered yet. It wasn't until 1997, after all, that the Sirena Deep was discovered with a depth of 10,732 meters, making it the second deepest known point in the ocean. It is estimated that only about 5% of the ocean's floor has been accurately mapped, leaving the other 95% to be currently a mystery. It may be only a matter of time before an even deeper part of our ocean is found, and who knows what we may discover there.
You see how you want to put the creature there? Because you know what you're going to discover. You know what you're going to discover. You're going to meet Leviathan. This is 2nd Esdras 4 and 6. Then answered I, what man? No, you know what? Let me start it. Then 2nd Esdras 4 and 7. And he said unto me, if I should ask thee how great dwellings are in the midst of the sea, or how many springs are in the beginning of the deep, or how many springs are above the firmament, because that's the waters, right? The heaven, the Shemayims is also the waters, all right? Or which are the outgoings of paradise? Verse 8. Peradventure thou wouldest say unto me, I never went down into the deep, nor as yet into hell, neither did I ever climb up into heaven. Nigga, Esau, you don't know what's going on. You don't know. And it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. This is not made for you. These things are not made for you, okay? Stay in your place. All right? Job 38 and 17, the gates of death have been opened unto thee. Have the gates of death have been opened unto thee? Or hast thou seen the doors of the shadows of death? Have you? Huh? Hast thou perceived the breadth of the earth? Declare if thou knowest it all. Where is the way of light? Where is the way where light dwelleth? As for darkness, where is the place thereof? Where's the darkness? We want to talk about, this is the deepest part, and this part right here is just pure darkness now. Shut up. Shut up. Shut it. We don't want to hear it, Esau. You don't got the answers. We trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua. We trust in the scriptures. All right? This is 2nd Esdras 7 and 3. It says, and I said, speak on my power. Then said he unto me, the sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. All right? It might be deep and great. So it's deep. It's great. You're not finding that. You're not going down there. Leviathan dwell down there. And if you make it anywhere past your caption, guess what happens? You end up missing like that damn submarine. All right? You make any pride statements and put up something in the sea, you end up like that damn Titanic. Pierced through and sunk. That's what happens. That's how powerful the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is. You know? This is 2nd Esdras 13 and 52. And he said unto me, like as thou canst neither seek out nor know the things that are in the deep of the seas, even so can no man upon earth see the Son, or those that be with him, but in the daytime. All right? So that comparison is like, you can't find out the deep seas the same way you're not going to see the Son and those that be with him until that time. All right? Let's end it off in some videos you brothers could watch, which I find, interesting. Let's see. This video right here was cool.
Job 41. And thou draw out Leviathan.
If you ever see this whilst you're swimming, get out of the water immediately. You did know there is one type of sea monster that actually exists. This creature is more terrifying than the Kraken, more dangerous than Jaws, and more mysterious than the Loch Ness Monster. What creature am I talking about? Leviathan.
Yo, some people say that God made the entire ocean as a playground for this thing right here. Do y'all know what this is? Well, let me show you in the Bible what God says about it. The book of Job says, nothing on earth is its equal, no other creature so fearless. Of all the creatures, it is the proudest. It is the king of beasts. So this beast that God calls the king of all beasts is a Leviathan, which is basically an indestructible sea monster that literally only has one weakness, which is God.
What scientists really discovered at the depths of the Mariana Trench. A couple years prior to filmmaker James Cameron's 2012 solo dive into the Mariana Trench, a group of scientists would report a mysterious encounter they had while exploring her depths. Before the dive, they had picked up a massive anomaly on their radar. And even though they assumed it was a large gas cloud recently released from the bottom of the ocean, the lead oceanographer and his assistant were excited to take the dive. It was also noted that they were the only ones brave enough to. As they approached the large rounded anomaly, they began hearing something. And they noticed that as they're hearing the sound, they can feel the pressure of the water changing around them. You sure you want to continue? Asked the oceanographer. How could we not? Said his assistant. And they continue. They get within 100 feet of the anomaly and they notice something metallic and shiny in the water. What is that? They say. That's when whatever it is lets out a loud screech like nothing they have ever heard before. You can literally feel the vibrations of the high-pitched screaming. Then suddenly, as soon as it started, it stops. And the anomaly has disappeared.
Why did NASA stop exploring the ocean? It's alleged till date that we've only explored less than 5% of our oceans, and there are many things yet to be discovered. Tales of the Kraken, the Megalodon, and many mythical creatures living in the ocean might not just be a myth anymore. In 1958, NASA started exploring the deep ocean, charting and mapping out the ocean floor. However, on June 28, 1978, This program was abruptly halted, and NASA immediately got to work trying to get us off the planet. So, what is really living deep in the ocean?
That puts the epicenter of the 7.1 earthquake right in the heart of the San Francisco Bay.
This just into News Australia.
Si l'aviation ne parvient pas.
We've also been getting strange reports of something moving under the Golden Gate Bridge.
I mean, it must be 300 feet tall.
Cars are tumbling off the bridge.
San Francisco has now become a war zone. Unless the jets can bring down this massive creature, I don't know what is going to be left of this city.
Cutting a 3-mile wide path of destruction for the city of San Francisco. I can only pray that this is the end of it.
Job 41. Canst thou draw out Leviathan with an hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? Canst thou put an hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? Will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Will he make a covenant with thee? Wilt thou take him for a servant forever? Wilt thou play with him as with a bird? Or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens? Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Lay thine hand upon him. Remember the battle. Do no more. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him? None is so fierce that dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me? Who hath prevented me that I should repay him? Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine. I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely proportion. Who can discover the face of his garment, or who can come to him with his double bridle? Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. His scales are his pride, shut up together as with a close seal. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another. They stick together, that they cannot be sundered. By his sneezings a light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. Out of his nostrils goeth smoke, as out of a seething pot or cauldron. His breath kindleth coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth. In his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned into joy before him. The flakes of his flesh are joined together. They are firm in themselves. They cannot be moved. His heart is as firm as a stone, yea, as hard as a piece of the nether millstone. When he raiseth up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reason of breakings they purify themselves. The sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold, the spear, the dart, nor the habergeon. He esteemeth iron as straw, and brass as rotten wood. The arrow cannot make him flee. Slingstones are turned with him into stubble. Darts are counted as stubble. He laugheth at the shaking of a spear. Sharp stones are under him. He spreadeth sharp pointed things upon the mire. He maketh the deep to boil like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. He maketh a path to shine after him. One would drink the deep to be hoary. Upon earth there is not his like, who is made without fear. He beholdeth all high things. He is a king over all the children of God.
Hey man, as you can see, hey man, Lord willing, this was edifying. With that being said, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Special salutations to the hope of your leg. By Yahweh, the house of David, and to the confusion that faces scattered across the four corners of the globe. Shalom to the brothers and the elders and shepherds of Berea camp as well. Shalom.